Hello and welcome to podcast number 11. I hope you all had a really good Halloween. I must admit, ours was very much relaxed. We don't really celebrate Halloween, if I'm totally honest. The kids, they're a little bit old now. Halloween's not really something. They're not trick or treaters or anything like that. How are you all? How's everyone doing? I hope I'm finding you all well. Um, I'm going to start today by saying something I say quite regularly on these podcasts, and that is thank you to you all. Because again, I mean, I'm just seeing my numbers going up, and I'm really hoping that the sort of things I'm talking about is resonating with one or two, maybe more of you, and maybe it's helping. I don't know. I'd like to think it is, because that's what I'm doing this for. You know, I'm actually not the sort of person that would normally do this sort of thing. Um, but since my diagnosis, I just want to help people. I want to get the word out there. I want people to hear my story, because maybe, just maybe, that might help other people out there. But yeah, genuinely, thank you all so much for listening. It's massively appreciated, um, and honestly, it is making me very, very proud. So thank you, all of you. Really do appreciate it. So today, something I want to sort of talk about is I had a letter from my neurologist the other day, and he's finally given me my results from my MRI scan I had a few weeks ago. Um, in a way, it's kind of good news. I'll be honest, it's kind of good news. What he's saying is there is no new lesions, which is great, absolutely fantastic. But the one thing that's not quite so good is one of the lesions I've got on my spine has shown it's a lot more pronounced. He's told me that he thinks that's probably the reason that I've been struggling a lot more recently. Um, you know, the way things have been, and I will very, very shortly, I'll discuss a little bit of what I'm going through currently, because it's not been all sweetness and light. I'll be fair, it's not all sweetness and light. You know, I've mentioned it previously about these sort of pains and whatever I've been getting. But I'll explain a bit more very shortly. But I'm still currently waiting on a date for my lumbar puncture, which, as I've said previously, that is something that the MSMDT have said that I'm going to need before I can consider the treatment that has been suggested by both my neurologist and my MS nurse. It would be nice if that could speed up a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. There's other people out there that need these services, and I've got to wait my turn, which I'm quite prepared to do. It would be nice if that turn was to creep along a little bit quicker. Maybe that way I can start sort of seeing a bit of calm down time on the way things are currently. But you know, one of those things. We carry on. What they have said before the lumbar puncture, they are going to be getting me in for my bloods and my chest X-ray to see whereabouts I am, because as I've said previously, they have told me what treatment really they're thinking I need, and currently there is only one treatment that they are thinking is necessary. I'm currently not going to name that treatment. I'm not going to name it, because at the end of the day, until all this is confirmed and I've got a date and everything else, yeah, things can change. So it would probably be wrong of me currently to name that treatment. But any of you out there that are going through this, you've probably got a pretty good idea what I'm alluding to. But again, all I can do is sit back and wait. They're saying around a 10-week wait for the lumbar puncture. So probably going to be looking into New Year now, by the time everything is said and done, and I'm aware of what they can do to try and help. So, waiting game. I've had a waiting game since the end of February last year. Or this year, sorry, end of February this year. We're pushing towards the end of the year now. But yeah, it would just be nice to see an end to the waiting. But currently, in my current situation, I am noticing, as I said previously, a lot more new pains in areas that have previously been an issue. Say these pains are actually really quite bad. I'll be totally fair. They're really quite bad, and at times they're making me struggle. Bless her, this morning, Lisa noticed I was still asleep. She noticed that I was wincing while I was asleep. I was in quite a bit of pain, and actually I did wake up, for want of a better term, very sore. That doesn't quite do it justice. I will be fair to you, it doesn't do it justice at all, but it wasn't nice. But they're not pains in new areas. These are pains in areas that I've had for a long time now, and they're just getting worse, which I'm sure we've all dealt with, but it's something currently that's quite new to me, and I have to be honest with you, I'm struggling with it. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't, but yeah, no, I am struggling with it. I have, as I said previously, I've upped my pain-killing medication. I now take 2 tablets in the morning and 3 of the night. To be fair, I probably could do with upping that again, but I'm desperately trying not to. I'm trying to just fight through and see where we can get to without trying to rely on painkillers. Again, coming into the memory aspect, I know a lot of people have issues with memory, but I'm noticing it an awful lot at the minute, and I'll be totally honest with you, I'd forget my head right now if it wasn't screwed on. I really would, because literally, I mean, I can put something on the table, I can turn round, and literally within a few seconds, I genuinely can't remember what I was doing. And it's not all the time, it's not something that's happening regular, but it's happening enough for it to be a real frustration. And I'm getting a little bit weirded out by it, because I'm just not understanding why it's happening. As I say, I know I've got lesions on the brain. I don't know how many, they haven't told me. But it's becoming really quite odd. That's one thing forgetting a conversation that happened 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah, I get that. That's fine. Everyone can have that kind of issue sometimes. But forgetting things that went on literally a few seconds ago. And again, it's not all the time. It's not all the time. But it's happening enough for it to be really annoying. But, again, it's one of those where I'm accepting it. I don't like it. I'm accepting it, and I'm fighting through it, and I will continue to do so, because quite honestly, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it again. I've got MS. It has not got me. And yeah, I know it's easy to say that, but quite honestly, I have no intention of giving in to this thing. It wants a fight, it's got a fight. I'm a fighter, I will always be a fighter. This thing's got battle on its hands. It really has. and I am not giving in. Cold hard fact that I am not giving in. But on a lighter note, because I don't want to be all negative and pessimistic and all the rest of it all the time. I know I've mentioned again previously that I was looking at starting playing guitar again. Been many years, but I actually went to the guitar shop yesterday in our town, and I've actually found a nice new toy that I quite fancy. Not expensive at all. I don't see the point in spending a massive amount of money. Not worth it. I found this really nice new toy. And let's get Christmas and New Year out of the way, because I think Christmas and New Year is probably a little bit more important than me having a new toy at this stage. But we'll get Christmas and New Year out of the way, and I'll be nipping into the guitar shop and I will be treating myself. Don't you worry, I won't be playing guitar on any of these podcasts. I do not want to subject any of you to that. And what I will say right now is, Lisa, kids, I am really sorry for when it happens. I will try my best not to be too loud, but I can't make any promises. I literally can't make any promises. Once the groove gets me, I might accidentally crank the volume up. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. But I'll try and make it happen when no one else is in the house. Keyword there, try. No promises. Absolutely no promises to be made. But yeah, I mean, that was quite good. Quite enjoyed it, except on the way home. I was on my scooter on Eleanor, and it started absolutely hammering down. So I put my waterproof poncho on, and because it was raining so heavy and the wind was quite bad, the poncho was actually blowing up into my face, and I physically couldn't see where I was going. I actually had to take the poncho off. I was soaked. By the time I got home, literally, I was dripping. Yeah, naturally, I was a little bit frustrated. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Because, I mean, my jeans were soaked through, even down to me socks and me underwear. I know it's an overshare, but it is what it is. I was soaked all the way through. But it was funny. That was on me. I decided to go out to the guitar shop. Glorious sunshine at the time, and I stopped in at work and had a chat with my mates at work. But yeah, I probably stayed out a little bit too long, and the rain decided the shower I had in the morning wasn't enough. I needed a second shower. Don't know why, but I got one, and yeah, I had to get changed. But it was worth it because it was a good little jaunt out. Now, something I really want to talk about now is the future of this podcast. Because I've sort of got myself onto a couple of Facebook groups for podcast hosts. And again, I don't really see myself as a podcast host because this podcast is only very small. And really, it's just for me to get thoughts out there and try and help other people that have got this condition or another condition, or just people that want to listen to someone talking rubbish about what they've got going on in life. But I want this podcast to go forward. I intend to push on with it. I'm 100% committed to making this podcast very, very long term. It's not something that's go away. I'm not going to go away with it. I am going to push this on. So at some point in the near future, I'm going to start looking at things like editing software, because I want to start editing these podcasts. I want to make your listening experience a lot better. I want to make it so that when you're listening in, you're thinking, wow, actually, he's taking a lot of time over this. He wants to make things better for us listening in, because I do. I want this to be something you're all going to enjoy listening to, because I enjoy talking to it. I enjoy talking to you all. I enjoy getting my thoughts out there. And not every day, not every podcast going forward is going to be solely about MS. It's not all going to be doom and gloom. These podcasts, I want to make them so that you're going to enjoy listening. Because I am, as I say, I'm 100% committed to it. And today I've done something a bit different. Normally when I do these podcasts, I'll just sit down and I'll talk. I'll just talk about what's on my mind. And yeah, I enjoyed that, but I've taken some advice from these other podcast hosts on this site I'm on. And I've actually kind of scripted today's episode a little bit. And yeah, I've gone off script a little bit from time to time, but actually predominantly I've scripted everything. And I'm actually hoping that makes your listening experience a bit better, because I'm not just rambling on to nothing. I'm not just talking and saying whatever's popping in my brain at that second. What I'm actually doing is I'm kind of reading from a script, but at the same time also adding little bits in. So actually, I really do hope that today has come across a little bit different. It may have done, it may not have done. If you're on any of my social medias, please feel free to give me some constructive criticism, because again, I'm doing this not just for me, I'm doing this for you all as well. So give me a shout. As I say, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, Mikes_MS_journey for both of those handles. Come talk to me, come and have a conversation, and say I'm quite an open book. As long as you're speaking to me with respect, believe me, you will get exactly the same in return. And if I'm in any position to have a long conversation with you, I will, as long as the conversation is respectful. Again, I have no issue with someone coming up and giving me a bit of constructive criticism, because again, I'm here for you all as well as me. So that will do for today. Again, I want to thank you all for listening, because genuinely it's you that makes this show. It really is, and I'm hoping I can do you all proud. Well, have a great day, and I look forward to speaking to you all again soon. You have a good one. Cheers. Bye-bye.